Napa Valley Community Housing is a nonprofit organization that responds to the needs of low and moderate income residents by building and managing affordable housing, and by providing opportunities for residents to grow, succeed, and improve the quality of their lives.
I got married very young, decided that school wasn't for me.
I don't have a place to live, and I started to rent in a little studio. My son used to call it the little egg because it was very, very tiny.
I was living at the Veterans Home in Yountville for a little over 6 years.
When we moved over here, it was tough because housing was not as feasible and attainable.
Coming back as a veteran, planning to start a business, you don't really expect to end up on something like federal unemployment.
You can imagine how hard it was, especially having a 4-year-old boy wanted to play, and there was no space.
You lived in a room that initially was shared with one other. You had a center divider, and you shared the front door.
As a grown man, you don't plan to move back in with family for any kind of a prolonged period of time.
Am I going to be able to afford rent next month? Am I going to be able to live here next month?
There was just a parking lot and then the little studio, so it was actually very dangerous.
We all know that tourism jobs aren't always the highest paying. A lot of service sector, a lot of restaurants, housekeeping.
Well, the people who live here are, in many cases, the spine to our businesses. They do all the work.
If you're making minimum wage, you'd have to work about 140 hours a week to afford a market rate apartment, or you'd have to commute long distances.
So it leaves them with either the lack of housing or a need for housing or a commute that's fairly large, substantial, and expensive.
I know that in Napa there are families, 3 and 4 families, that sometimes are living in a 2-bedroom apartment. And that's not healthy. It's not healthy for adults. It's definitely not healthy for children. And Napa Valley Community Housing can offer those people an affordable, clean, comfortable community setting so that they can feel part of what's going on in their community.
Napa Valley Community Housing was formed about 35 years ago when 2 smaller affordable housing agencies got together. So we've been working at this a long time. We have 575 units now. We have about 1,700 people, and 600 of those people are children. These are single moms, they're families that are just starting out. We have seniors who are on fixed incomes who live in our properties, and we try to make them just as safe and comfortable and attractive as they can be. We really care about the design of our apartments and our facilities. We make sure that the architects understand the needs of multifamily dwellings. We make sure it fits into the design of the neighborhoods, and we try to have enough amenities there. We have playgrounds and tot lots. We make sure there's plenty of laundry facilities. We usually have a community room where the residents can gather for celebrations or for learning and just socializing too.
If you look the property over, it's really well done, and it's well designed, and it's got wonderful landscaping and care and maintenance. And the units are almost evenly divided between 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units. There are singles who live here, small families who live here, and the 3 bedroom units accommodate, a fairly large family. It meets a lot of different housing needs for the below market folks in the community.
We also have what's called family resources, and it's an empowerment program, and it's resident services coordinators go out to the properties and they teach and they bring out people from other agencies such as Clinic Olay or Queen of the Valley Hospital to give lectures on nutrition and exercise, to learn about cooking, to learn about what they should do if they have any problems in the community, if they have questions, where they should go.
We had the Von Brandt Center that opened while we were living there, and so they offered classes on financial literacy. They offered classes just on parenting. They offered a place where there was computers, there was after-school programs for my son to go and for myself.
Shelter is one of the basic needs. And we feel if a child is secure and safe and has a routine, they can learn, they can grow, they can thrive. And the same with the family. So if the environment around them is attractive and long-lasting, they will be good tenants, they'll take care of the properties, which they do, and they'll grow and be better community members.
When employees know that their families are in a safe neighborhood and a safe place, they come to work as happier individuals. They come to work wanting to work more with less worries and stress.
As an employer, you will have workers who are more focused, who arrive on time, who are alert all day, who want to contribute to your company because they live near where they work.
You know, it's great for older people who sometimes become isolated and don't have transportation, don't have support services.
It's so comforting to know that they can go pick up their children. They're not far from their where they go to school. They can bring them home. There's all kinds of programs now for the children.
You take a greater interest in your community when you live in it.
We have a very long waiting list of people wanting to get into our apartments. In the last several years, it's grown threefold the number of times people come in and want an application to our apartments. So we know the need is great. And because of funding now and because of the lack of land, it's becoming more difficult to build new housing units. There's no government funds that go into our operating expenses. We raise all that through fundraisers and through asking for donations. We're also always looking for land. We have to buy land or get land somehow. And of course, that's a dwindling stock in Napa. There's only so much land left.
Our contribution was the donation of the land, which is always critical if you're going to build an affordable project. The land is the most difficult thing sometimes to get.
In order for us to grow this valley and grow the home availability through Napa Valley Community Housing is the best avenue that I can see to provide for our future.
If you want a healthy community that thrives and diversifies, it starts with shelter. You can't get more basic than that.
I'm now a credentialed teacher for the state of California, which is amazing for me to be able to say that and to be able to share that with people who saw me growing up in community housing, which is, for me, perhaps one of the best things that could have happened to me in my own situation.
Having all my living quarters at my fingertips, that's what meant a lot to me.
It was what we could afford in order to survive on our own.
It enabled me to do all kinds of things. That turned out to be one of the best things that's ever happened to me.
If Napa Valley Community Housing hadn't been here, I think I still living in that little egg.
My goal is to come back and to give back to the community that gave a lot to me.
Because of Napa Valley Community Housing,
We can work here.
we can feel safe here.
We are part of our community.
Okay, hold on, because I can get emotional, so I don't want it to get... We can raise our children here.
Because of Napa Valley Community Housing, we can live here.